Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back. Episode 23 of the Scottish Falcons and the AFN International. As always, we're heading up the charge into Bills Week, and we're joined. We're thrilled to have him back. Our game correspondent, Jael Lamarcus. Thank you for being on with us, brother. It's good to have you back on, and tell us a little bit about how things have been going. You did say to us in the back that the heart's not been keeping too well.
Well, I tell you what, man, fellas, it's been kind of exciting, and then it's been disappointing, and then it's been exciting again. And I really believe with all my heart as a fan, once we can be consistent, we are going to be a force to be reckoned with. And that the first game that showed that was the game against the Vikings. And I was there at that game, and I can't tell you fellas the excitement in that stadium. And they were talking so much trash. And I sat around a bunch of Vikings fans, and they were like, oh, why did you guys even come to this game? You're going to lose. And I was so grateful to shove it in their face when we beat them 22-6. And I get it. I get it. There was one touchdown by Tyler Algier, and then the rest of them was from Parker Romo with the field goals. And I thought about it. I'm like, you know what? We got it. Our defense was on point that evening, and they showed the world the kind of football that we can play when we are locked in. But now we just need to manage that with the offense. And when we can get both of those clicking like that with the offense and the defense playing lights out the way they were playing, there's nothing that can stop us. And I believe that. Like, I literally believe that when the defense played the way they played against Minnesota and the offense played the way they played against the Commanders, nobody can stop us. Nobody.
No, you've got that right. And shout out as well to my co-host with the most, the original Scottish Falcon, Des Stevenson. And Des, as I say, it's been a topsy-turvy season, as Lamarcus has just said. We did have 2-2. We had that much right, but we had the wins as losses and the losses as wins. The up and down world of being an Atlanta Falcons fan. So how are you feeling about it all, mate?
Yeah, as Lamarcus says, we are literally, we live in the upside down world of the Falcons. When the offense is as good, the offense is bad, and then the defense is good. And when the offense is good, the defense is bad. As you said, we beat the teams we shouldn't have beat, and we lost to the teams we could have won, or we should have won, especially the Panthers. Yeah, it's just it's something we're just used to. We're used to as Atlanta Falcons fans. We can't have nice things.
But one thing that I will say is a wee aside when you're talking about that Panthers game. Shout out to Tony, always a frequent flyer down in the chat. We love to see you dropping the red and blacks as always, my brother. Good to have you. But yeah, just to kind of not put too fine a pound on it. After the Carolina game, I thought it was a horrible look that we had Coach Heem dabbing it up with the boys and laughing and almost fraternising with the enemy like it was what I would call an international exhibition. It's like how we would treat one of the American schools that come over to play us. It was not a good look when you think about it. It's meant to be a rivalry game. And as you've said on multiple occasions, Des, they're not the finished article. I'm not convinced that Bryce Young is the kid for Carolina. I think he's good. I don't think he's great. And I certainly don't think he's generational.
We'll go back to something I said in one of the previous shows when I talked about how I thought this coaching staff was a wee bit different and these players were a wee bit tougher. And that came. I'll always go back to the kneel down touchdown against the Aints when they effectively were kneeling down and they scored the touchdown. Obviously, it was after Smith's last game. But I said at the time, this was before the season started, that I believe if that happened now, that there would be riots on the park, and to see that against the Panthers with Raheem Morris and all that. That was not a good look. You know what I mean?
No.
Listen, you have professional courtesy. You go up, you shake the hand of the other coach. You thank and say well done to the other team and everything. But you're literally, you should have fire coming out your eyeballs, and I didn't see that. And again, I said in the Thursday show, the scariest thing that came for that game was the fact that it's been through a side, and Raheem Morris came out this week and said, "Listen, we're effectively just going to say it's been a bad day." But has there been any analysis? Have we looked at it? Why did it? Why did we fall short? Why did we not score against? Let's be honest, one of the most inconsistent teams in the NFL. It just seems to be it's through a side, and to be honest, that I'll say again, the Atlanta Falcons are a good team that could be great if they just stop making the daft, wee, silly mistakes.
Yeah, as you both say so often, if we could get out of our own way, we may well be nigh unstoppable. And that's the beauty of it, but also the curse. And an interesting question there from Floyd Donnelly. And we were only going to get into it until we actually broke the game down, but why not cover it now? I think it has the potential to be. I'll go around and see what you boys think, but I think mid to high 20s. I think maybe 28, 24. I think they're two decent defenses. I think Josh Allen is a level of player where we inevitably are going to have some plays where he's going to get the better of us. He's just that guy. I'm not going to take anything away from James Cook either. But with that being said, Des pointed it out to me that Buffalo come in with the number 22 ranked defense against the run. And they've not met the two-headed monster that we are bringing on Monday night. So, yeah, I think it could be, as I say, maybe 28, 24, something like that. How about you, Des?
Listen, see if it's 3-0 and it's a Romo kick at the last minute of the game, I'm fine with that. I just, for me, that something's going to give, because, and I'm going to be honest and say that I know everybody's saying that the Bills are going to win. I don't know. I normally have a sinking feeling when I'm getting into games, but what I would say is we talk about the upside down world of the Atlanta Falcons, but this season it's been the upside down world of the NFL. You know what I mean? Jacksonville Jaguars are beating the Chiefs. You know what I mean? I mean the New England Patriots beat the Buffalo Bills. There literally seems to be a changeover.
Yes.
And from my point of view, when you look, and I know Lamarcus said earlier, when you look at this offense, and if we could get this offense going, we wouldn't really need to have like a number one overall defense, because this offense would score enough points that the defense could take a hit now and again, and we would still win the game. But I mean, I was watching On the Rise last night, and again, it goes into quite a bit. It goes into the Panthers game. It doesn't shy away from it.
Yeah.
But you do see the camaraderie. You see the togetherness of the players. But when I was watching that, I just thought to myself, you look at this offense. I mean, this offense could be great. It could be special. It could be a special offense. It's got everything there. There's nothing in this offense that you can say there's a weak link. I seen a statistic just before we come on X, which I think that the Atlanta Falcons is the number one offensive O-line, as in snaps together on the 5 players. They've not changed any players since the start of the season, and even going back last season, there was a lot of consistency there. So you've got everything in place. You know what I mean? You've got Charlie Warner, who's a blocking tight end. You've got Kyle Pitts. You've got a great O-line. You've got two of the best running backs in the NFL. You've got London, who's just a monster. And obviously you've got Mooney is now ruled out. But again, last season, Ray McLeod stepped up. You know what I mean? So that there is players that, when you look at the weakest link, if you're saying that our weakest link is our wide receiver number 3, then that's not bad when you're looking at an offense. You know what I mean?
Not at all.
Well, I'll correct that. Wide receiver number 4, because effectively Kyle Pitts is at the moment as well wide receiver number 2 with Darnell Mooney being out. So
another secret you and I have never shied away from, Des. We didn't draft him in that position to be a tight end. We drafted him to be a unicorn. So, and how are you feeling about Monday night, LaMarcus, going into this game against the Bills? Do you think it'll be high scoring? Do you think we're going to see this offense emerge? Can we, most importantly, can we put a full game together? I can see Floyd commenting that we could do with one more speedy route runner, and that's something we can talk about because it's a good segue into the injury report, and we'll talk about that in just a few minutes. But first off, we'll get your thoughts, LaMarcus. So what are you expecting to see on Monday night?
So, fellas, I'm in agreement with Des. Listen, there have been some shockers in the past couple of weeks of some teams. I mean, just look at last night's game, the Giants versus the Eagles. Them boys hauled out against the Eagles. They took them to town, man. They played them like they should have played them to win that game. And you know what? We're seeing a situation where that's happening to a lot of great teams, even Super Bowl caliber teams where that's happening. I believe that when the Bills come into town, first of all, they're playing in the Benz, okay? I always like to say home field advantage. The crowd, the fans are going to be hyped up. This is a game for the season. It's prime time. Everybody's going to be watching it. And I believe, even though I know that Josh Allen is a scrambler, he gets out of that pocket and he makes plays happen when he does that. I believe we have the kind of defense that knows that's his MO, and they're going to be primed and ready to take care of that when it happens. The score, I think it's going to be a good game, and I think it's going to be close. But I think the Atlanta Falcons are going to come out on top, and I believe that. I strongly believe that because those boys have belief in themselves after that Washington game. And they've had a bye week, which means that we've had time to rest up, a time to get back out there and look at those plays. I believe that they're going to be ready on Monday night for the Buffalo Bills. I believe that very strongly. Yeah,
we would definitely agree with you there. And the fans are showing some love as well. Expect to see more of this man. If he's not at the game, then we will do our best to get him on here with us. As I say, your takes are always appreciated, and this is the beauty of AFNI. As I say, when Maggie and I first came up with the seeds of this little thing, it was just an idea for us to kind of get closer to the sideline, so to speak, because you guys are at camp, you're at games and things like that, and it's just grown exponentially beyond, as I say, what we could ever have expected. But yeah, as we did say though, one big concern is the level of injuries. So a couple of specific ones first, and then a more general sort of look. So first off, AJ Terrell. As you know, we don't like to see him on the sideline, especially against a team with dynamic and offense as Buffalo have. But he does say that he's feeling 100% and ready to return. Although, as you said earlier, Darnell Mooney isn't going to be out there catching passes for us. So, as I say, with that being said, and with it already having been raised in the chat there earlier by Floyd, with Darnell missing his second straight practice, do we have wide receiver depth, or is there a lack thereof? So this is something that I feel like is a good sort of question to ask, especially at this point in the season when you're starting to talk about ticking on towards a trade deadline. And in terms of trade talks, I mean, I know we've got San Francisco coming up, and they're talking about bringing in Hendrickson. So, I mean, if we're playing against that level of pass rusher, then we need to be able to get the ball out quicker. So, as I say, having more options that way would definitely be good to have. But how concerned are you guys? And we'll start with you, LaMarcus. How concerned are you about the Darnell Mooney situation and the ongoing sort of saga, if you will, at the wide receiver position?
I'm going to be honest with you, fellas. I'm not really that concerned at all, because what I do know is, as far as depth is concerned, we have to look at people like Casey Washington to actually get into the picture, who's been actually instrumental in some of the plays. I mean, we've got Kadero Hodge. I mean, what's his designation? Is he good for?
Yeah, he's good.
Yeah,
he's good to go.
I mean, we've got Drake London, we've got Ray McLeod, we've got Kadero Hodge, we've got Casey Washington. I mean, we've got some moving pieces that would be able to fill in and play. So I'm not really concerned about that. There are other pieces of the puzzle that I would be more concerned about other than the depth for wide receiver.
Okay. Yeah, I would agree with that. I mean, there's bigger fish to fry. As I say, we are a run first team. As much as we have a hell of a lot of weapons in terms of passing the ball, we are a predominantly a run heavy team, and I feel like if we stick to that ethos, then we can still do great things and we can still get this W. Regardless, once Darnell comes back, I'm not going to say that he's not a fantastic piece to have. And as Des says, he's one more name that you can throw in when you say just how stacked our offense is. But as I say, I feel like if he needs a week or two to get himself right, then I feel like we need to afford him that to be where we want to be down the stretch. Because as I say, with the week 5 bye as well, we need to stay healthy down the stretch if we want to be talking about playoff football. Wouldn't you agree with that, Des?
Yeah, but I mean, an early bye is only an early bye if you make the playoffs. You know what I mean? And you're then talking about it then. You know what I mean? If you're out before the playoffs kick off, then it doesn't really matter.
That's right.
What I would say is that if you're coming up against the 22nd defense and run the run game, and you've got, I mean, listen, you've got Bijan Robinson. Don't forget. I mean, this guy defies all the odds. It's not a case of if they were sitting number one, you're still using. If they were sitting number one run defense, you're still using Bijan Robinson. You know what I mean? Michael Penix Jr. is still a young quarterback. This is only going to be his 8th game. He's in prime time Monday Night Football, so the nation's watching. Yeah. So the last thing you want to do with this guy is expect him to chuck it 40 odd times and expect not to get picked off. You know what I mean? You use the run game to your advantage. And I always say, when you've sledgehammered the defense into oblivion, you then bring up Kyle Pitts, you bring up Drake London, and you just have a field day. But to help Michael Penix Jr., you're running, as I say, run the damn ball.
There you go, baby.
the old KISS principle. Take it back to football 101. Keep it simple, stupid. Just run the damn ball straight down their throats. And this is the thing. This is something that I don't profess to have been a particularly good wide receiver in my day, but one thing that we build well in Scotland, because of the weather, we don't have the type of weather to allow 40-yard bombs, 50-yard bombs downfield a lot of the time. So what we build is stout, big, hard-hitting offensive lines and a solid run game. So we know what we're looking for when it comes to running the ball. And as I say, you've got to love what we've got in Atlanta. We've got a solid, consistent, big, but fast offensive line that are just allowing Duke and Nuke, as I like to call them, Tyler and Bijan, to get the job done. And as I say, the name escapes me, our RB3, the speed demon. What's that kid's name again? Nate Carr?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nathan Carter, yeah.
Yeah, it's like if you can get your pulling guard into the second level and bust a hole for that kid, it's over with. He's gone. He's got that kind of breakaway speed that's just insane. So I feel like I couldn't. I don't feel like fantasy wise you could put together a better running back room than we have right now. So yeah, I feel like in terms of wide receiver depth, we just need to remember to keep it simple and keep it like do what we do so well.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's one of the keys to victory on Monday.
And I think it's how we deal with Josh Allen's coming out the pocket and running the ball. What I would say is that maybe last year I would have been a wee bit more concerned. And to be honest, we always have suffered and struggled against mobile quarterbacks. But you've got, I mean, but we've like the linebacker core, we've increased the speed and the toughness in there. Divine Diablo, you've got Caden Ellis, you know what I mean? So again, you've got A2, you've got better pass rushers, you've got better interior defensive guys, you know what I mean? So again, as I said earlier, Jesse Bates has come out and said that they have been prepping Josh Allen in the second stage, as in running the ball. And Jesse Bates came out and said that I'm assuming we're all going to be knackered after this game. So effectively, they're going to be they know they're going to be busy with Josh Allen. And to be honest, if you break down and stop the offense, and then you stop Josh Allen coming out the pocket and running, then that could be a success for us. What I would say is the unusual thing is the fact that we're still. I wouldn't say that I try not to curse, but we're still waiting in the defense to effectively lay an egg. We're still waiting for the defense to have a bad game. And effectively, every game they go in and they put up these numbers gives us more confidence. But you're still, although you're confident about a game and you're confident about the defense, you're just waiting for that one game where we get absolutely overloaded and overrun.
Yes, sir. Y'all know what they say about pride in the fall, right?
Yeah, and you just wonder whether it's going to be this game. That's the issue with the Falcons just now. I mean, we've watched 4 games, and 3 preseason games, and I'm still unsure. And that's the worst thing about it. This isn't a head coaching staff that has just came in this year. This is from last year, but you would think that they would take the consistency in the start, the end they had. Well, they didn't have a good end, but effectively they were playing not bad with Michael Penix Jr. and they would bring that into the season. But it's been starting and starting and starting and starting, and like the offense, but the defense has been fantastic. But because you're used to this stop-start and nothing going right, just the world of the Falcons, you're just waiting for the defense to lay an egg. And we're at that point where, I know we'll go into it later, but we're at that point where we need to effectively be in a position where we can come up against, I'll go back to the 2016 season. Literally with the offense we had, didn't matter who we played, we knew we were going to win that game. You know what I mean? We were just battering them. We would have the odd bad road game, but we were literally just overpowering them constantly. And we need to do that with the defense, but also we've got an offense there that can. I mean, I'll see what LaMarcus thinks, but if you take away the coaches, but if you look at the 2016 offense that we had, and then you look at the 2025 offense that we had, now what I would say is forget the O-line. I think the O-line are quite similar par-wise. You know what I mean? You had Alex Mack, and obviously we've got our guy, Ryan Nuzzel, but when you look at the actual weapons, I honestly believe that 2025 offense is better per player than the 2016 offense. Wow. Now you've got Julio, who was like a one-off, But
Yes.
we've also got Bijan, who's a one-off.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So,
and we also have Kyle Pitts, who's a one-off, and we have Drake London, who's going that way. I don't know if he's going to be quite Julio good, but I mean, if he keeps it going, he's stacking up to put up some real good numbers.
I think his numbers. I think statistically his numbers for the first certain amount of games is higher than Julio. Is it not? I'm sure I've seen a statistic somewhere. But we'll see. But as I said, this offense could be special. The defense could be special, and it looks as if it's going to be special. But by God, if we could just turn on this offense against the Bills, I mean, at some point we need to take a big scalp, and we need to take a big scalp with a big number, and effectively show the NFL that we're here to stay.
We need to make that statement 100%. But just to go back to what you said earlier, there's about defense. There is one more concern that I'll throw in, and I promise it's the last time we'll talk about injuries tonight. But this one comes to us courtesy of Kevin Knight from the Falcaholic. So he's been busy, and we were grinding last minute to bring you this update. So if you don't know Kev, you should by now. He's on X at Falcaholic Kev. So, as I say, that comes courtesy of him, and he is basically giving us the breakdown. So, we've already spoken about Darnell Mooney out with a hamstring. We also have cornerback Clark Phillips III, triceps and an illness. Defensive lineman Laquale London, tricep issue. And as we just recently said, we activated Taquan Graham from the 21-day IR window. But it looks like he's re-aggravated his calf. As you say, he was active in the last 2 days of practice, Lamarcus, but it looks like things aren't maybe going as well as we'd hoped. And then we've got 2 questionables listed in Billy Bowman Jr., a knee or hamstring issue, and cornerback Natron Brooks with concussion protocol and a shoulder issue. So for me, the Bowman one is probably going to be the biggest miss if Billy Badass isn't there. But what about you boys? If you could pick one name out of that list that you would be who you'll miss the most, it's got to be Billy, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Did you see that boy take that ball from that Minnesota Vikings? It was a beautiful sight. I mean, I don't want to take too much time on it, but when you talk about dogs, I mean, he went and got that ball, and it changed the outcome of the game. I mean, it was just a beautiful sight to see that. And not to mention, it was right there on the edge of the line, so it could have gone either way. It could have not been an interception, or it could, and it was just beautiful to see that the whole stadium just up with all the Atlanta Falcons fans. They were just going crazy when that happens. And he has the potential to make plays like that, man. He's so valuable to the team.
Oh, I would 100% agree. And I mean, you all know, as a diehard Texas Longhorns fan, it's not often I get to shout out the Sooners. But thank you, University of Oklahoma, for that, man. Oh dear. Yeah. But yeah, as I say, there are many names to be worried about, but I will miss Billy out there on Monday night. Shout out to Jerome. It's been a minute since we've seen you on, but another one of the frequent flyers in the chat. So yeah, now that we've kind of broken down the injuries, where we're at with that, let's get into a little aside that I had for you guys. So I did notice that on the Falcons bye week, we're going to focus specifically on our own division in the NFC South. So here's how the NFC South looks right now. And just for whoever made this graphic, I'm going to give you a little piece of advice. If you're going to represent the division, don't use the basement dwellers. just a thought there. But
yeah.
But yeah.
Why would you do that? Why would you do? I mean.
I'm sorry.
If you're a Bucks fan, you're pissed at that, mate. If you're a Bucks fan, you're pissed. You know what I mean?
100%.
They're literally they're on fire. They're now. Give them their due. They're absolutely on fire. And
100%.
somebody's looked at the NFC South and said, "Yeah, we'll put up a picture of the New Orleans Saints. That represents the NFC South. Fantastic. You couldn't
Like
make that.
we'll shout you all out. You did get your first win of the season of 5.
But mate, again, we see this. It's some of these national reporters, and you think, tell me you've not watched the Falcons without telling me you've not watched the Falcons.
Yeah.
When they start early on, Bijan Robinson, and we all already knew how good Tyler Algier would be, and I think one of the games, I think he got injured, and the national press is coming out saying, I mean, what will they do? What will they do at running back? And we were like, well, we've got Tyler Algier. What are you talking about? You know what I mean? So, and that's another one. Tell us you don't know, but tell us that you don't know the NFC South without telling us you don't know the NFC South.
Yeah, but that's a good point to segue as well, Des, because talking about a man who knows his football, and talking about, I mean, we don't like to blow our own trumpets too much on this show, but we know talent when we see it. And here comes another one of the frequent flyers. If you know the Atlanta Falcons Fandemic podcast, then you'll be familiar with this man. He's a recent addition, but he's very much welcome and always an appreciated part of the family. Manuel McFarland, how are you, my brother? Good to see you. Thanks for joining us again.
Thank you guys for having me on. Appreciate it. My voice is kind of gone. I've been talking Falcon football and Bills all week, so my voice is kind of gone. So y'all have to bear with me a little bit.
We're thrilled to. No, it's all good. Des is loaded with a cold as well. We've got that unseasonal cold at the moment. So, as I say, we'll hold it down for you. We're thrilled just to have you on. So, with what's left of your voice, we appreciate you sparing it for us.
Appreciate you. No problem. Glad to be here.
We done 20 shows during the Dead Zone.
Oh wow!
And they were lasting 2 hours at a time. So we done 40 hours through the Dead Zone before the season even started. So if you're feeling a bit croaky and you don't want to talk, listen, there's plenty of voices here. Don't worry about it.
That's as we say, the AFNI group has gotten so much bigger than we thought it ever would. As I say, I don't want to confirm anything that's not confirmed yet, but we are in talks with certain other in communication rather with some other creators based in Australia as well. Right. So, as I say, from Clydeside, stateside to worldwide, we truly are international in the voice of all the fans. So I consider it a personal endeavour of mine and a labour of love for all of us involved to just get on here and chat birds and show our love. To you, the fans that make it possible as well, and are here to hear it rant every Thursday and Saturday night.
To bitch, to greet. So greet means cry. So to bitch, to greet, to moan. You know what I mean? So
not just cry, Des, but as the Americans would call it, when you greet, that's ugly crying. That's the ugly crying.
Like
that's what it's all about. I mean, content creation and being able to get on here and talk. That's what it's all about. Bridging the fan base. Everybody's not going to agree on the same thing. That's a gimme. But it's all about unifying the fan base, and that's what it's all about. Whether it's here in the States, abroad, Germany, Australia. I mean, wherever. I mean, that's what it's all about, man. You can't help but when you're a fan of the Falcons, man. I mean, a lot of media bases, they shortchange the fanship of the Falcons, right? But until you actually get down into it and be a part of it, you don't realize how big it is. You don't realize how important it is to actually be. You don't even have to be just in Atlanta, because I can't tell you the amount of fans that I got from other teams that are in my that are supporters of my channel. And I mean, it's crazy. Yesterday I did a show with Dan and Mitchell of the Bills, and just through him alone, man, I got 10 subscribers. And I mean, we had a ball on that show. but it's the fanship and the base of the Falcons, man, it's unreal. A lot of people, like I said, they don't sell us like we're supposed to, but I get it. We haven't won a Super Bowl, but hey, it's coming.
Yeah, and that's the beauty of it. Supporting a team that doesn't have a Lombardi means that we get to be there when they get the first, and that's going to be a special moment.
But the other thing as well, Will, is we don't support a team. We support a team that their head coach don't ask the players to hurt other players and actually pay a bounty on it. You know what I mean?
Right.
We effectively have an owner who literally puts as much money into the community as he puts into the team. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
That's the difference. Atlanta Falcons. If there was a good guy and a bad guy, the Atlanta Falcons in a Disney film, the Atlanta Falcons would be dressed in white. You know what I mean? And the other one would be dressed in black and a wee bit of gold on it. You know what I mean? So
gold.
Yeah, I mean, there's certain traits that you don't want in your team. You know what I mean?
Right.
And again, that's the thing that I love. Again, when I came to Atlanta, the love for the city and the love for the football and college football and baseball, it's a sports town,
right?
And we've seen with the Braves 2021 World Series that Atlanta's just craving that sports success. They want to either the Hawks or the Braves, us guys, or the soccer team United, Atlanta United. They're craving success. And to be honest, what I would say is when we win the Super Bowl, it's going to be like a volcano, mate.
It's going to be electric. And it's funny you said that because there's an article that's highlighting the fact that Atlanta wants to become a sports hub, and now they've already started building on the arena for the new hockey team. And I didn't know it until this year that we actually have a championship volleyball team. I did not know that. Wow. Yeah. So once I start my sports network channel, I'll start talking about stuff like that. But you could tell where the culture is going now with Atlanta sports, right? You got the Falcons that have gone out and have built this team that we have, and now you have the Hawks that have built the team that they have now. I mean, I'm ecstatic to see what the Hawks are actually going to put on the court this season. But the Braves, it's another story. They have players. They just have to find a way to play together. But I mean, Atlanta has become that hub now, and I'm thinking that it's not going to just stop with just the Falcons, So I think once the Falcons, especially if, like you said, we bring that Super Bowl here, it's going to be crazy electric.
Yeah. Well, as you say, I mean, it's something that Atlanta's been building slowly over the last sort of 30 years since the 96 Olympics. But at the same time, like, you don't get a World Cup, to talk about soccer, you don't get a World Cup semi-final if you're not a one of the biggest market cities in your nation. So I mean, like, I've said it many times, like, one of the most important things for me is how much the city, the fans in Atlanta, although I've never visited the city, how much they've embraced this project that we're putting out here, and how much love there's been for it. So as I say, it's just about doubling down. Atlanta knows what it's got, and it's just about waiting for the success and the consistency to manifest. And I feel like, at least to get back to NFL and our Falcons, we're getting there.
Yeah,
we're almost there.
I think Arthur Blank actually wants it. I don't think he's just an owner that just wants to be a part of a team, on a team. I think he wants it. I think he gets the fact that Atlanta wants a championship football team, and the amount of money that he's spending, it's not being highlighted that much in the media because we haven't won a Super Bowl. But I think the fact that Arthur Blank is spending the kind of money that he is doing and willing to do it, because a lot of people don't realize the previous owners that we had, the Rankin Smith brothers, they did not want to spend a dime. I mean, outside of what was the minimum pay for each one of these players, but the fact that Arthur Blank is willing to stretch that playbook, that checkbook, and pay these players and try to keep them here, within a reasonable amount of time. But I think he wants to have that Super Bowl here, as we all do, but it's one of the things, like you said, it's going to come with time. I think we have that core team here. I really do. Yeah. And there's something that's different about this team. You got the Bijan, you got the Drake, you got players on all corners, that can help bring that Super Bowl here. And I actually love it. I haven't been to a game yet this year, but I think once I get an opening of my schedule here, I'm pretty sure I'll be able to catch a few of them. But I'm ecstatic. I can't wait. I can't wait till we really get into the bottom of this season.
Yeah. I just pray that we can stay healthy down the stretch. That's a point I made earlier. But yeah, if we can stay healthy down the stretch, and as I say, we've already shown that we can hang with some of these teams. I mean, going into the season, Des and I were as like we always strive for 17-0, as you know, but we try to be diplomatic about it. But I mean, we hang in there. We beat Washington. Right. Washington are no slouches. We beat Minnesota. Minnesota's no slouches. So there's no reason why we can't handle in the next 2 weeks Buffalo and San Fran. There's no reason at all why we can't get it done.
Right. Monday is going to be crazy. I really wish I could be at that game, man. That Buffalo game is going to set Atlanta on fire. Now, if we manage to win that game, they might have to put a cap on Atlanta, man. It's going to go crazy, because then everybody's going to have that reaffirmed, confidence that we can be that championship team. And Buffalo, like you said, is not a slouch at all, by no means. You talk about the AFC juggernaut. I mean, and not just of the AFC, they're the team to beat right now. And if we can go in there and play them strong, play them big. I mean, even if we take an L, I know I hate to say it like that, but even if we play them strong and play with confidence, and we can be, put up a good show, I think it'll reaffirm the fan base, like, hey, we are that team. We are back. We are built and winning right now.
Mm-hmm.
Fellas, the Patriots exposed their weaknesses, and we can do even more than that. I think that game was a prime example of where we can beat them, because the Patriots beat them, and we can do the same thing. And guess what? To boot, we're going to be playing the Patriots also. So it's going to be the ultimate test.
It's going to be nice. I'll tell you. And the thing about if we play them, and we have the same defense as the Patriots, not built, but we play the same defense. Now, the only thing that sets us apart, our defense apart from the Patriots, is we have Jeff Albrecht, who brings a totally dynamic to the defense. And I think he had these players now getting after the ball, and that's what we want to do to Josh Allen. We got to get Josh Allen out of that pocket, not to make throws or whatever, but to get him to run into making illicit decisions. I mean, we can get him to doing that. The Patriots proved that. You get him out of that pocket, get him running. He makes bad decisions. He doesn't make good throws. And for people like Xavier Watts and Billy Bowman, AJ and Terrell, I mean, I'm hoping that we can pull off a few interceptions that'll change the impact of this game, as well as Michael Penix doing what he does. Because right now the Patriots think that they have our number for some reason. I don't know why. Like I said, I was in that in the podcast yesterday morning with these guys, man, and they actually think that Michael Penix is not that guy. And I'm like, have y'all not seen the footage? I mean, you can go all the way. If y'all don't go back all the way to the end of last season, y'all know one thing that Michael Penix can do is throw that ball down the field. And for some reason, they think that they have our number, but hey, Monday night will prove it all, man. I can't wait. They said
it's going to be a good game.
I think the issue they've got with Michael Penix Jr. in the media just now is that they're effectively throwing him in with all the other QBs that were drafted last year.
Right.
But unlike the other QBs like Drake May and Caleb Williams, he's literally only just about to play his 8th game. You know what I mean? So whereas they were looking at the Drake Mays and that last year when they played 8 games and they were still making mistakes, saying, well, it'll take time. Right. They're looking at Michael Penix Jr. and saying, well, he was drafted last year. We're now looking at him now, and he doesn't look as good as these guys. Well, he's played less than half the games that these guys have played. You know what I mean? And I think that's where the issue's coming from.
Yeah.
I mean, what I would say is if you can't look at Michael Penix Jr. and see that what he's got when he turns it on is, I mean, he's got an electric arm. He's got, I mean, they shows down the field are just, I mean, they're to die for.
Right.
Plus, he's got it can be sometimes scattery with the consistency of the shows where they go. But again, that's just learning. He's only played 7 games.
Yeah.
I mean, what do you expect this boy to do? He's played 7 games in the NFL, which is a completely different monster. You effectively look back to Peyton Manning. Manning still holds the record for the rookie interceptions in his first season. Now, if Peyton Manning had played and been drafted last year and had done as many interceptions last year, he would have been binned.
Yeah, exactly.
It was a different NFL then. There wasn't a cap on what you were paying the rookies.
Right.
Peyton Manning came in and was literally the highest paid player in the NFL. So at that point, you had to give him time because you had paid the man. You had guaranteed him the money.
Right.
Whereas now, because there's a ceiling on how much you can pay these players, it's more a show away. It's a show away NFL. He's not doing it after 5 or 6 games. Let's move on. And that's what the media's looking. The media's looking at what he done, and they'll go back to Carolina, and then they'll show some of the issues with some of the shows last game, and then they're saying, well, he's not the finish article. He's played 7 games. Of course, he's not the finish article.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
and I feel like almost they were expecting a generational shift so quick, and sometimes you do need to let this cook a little bit. As I say, like, it was a big thing in terms of the coaching. Let Terry cook, or rather the management and the drafting process. So why not let these guys develop organically and learn their place in the offense, learn the plays at which they excel. And that is going to, and as I say, we need to be realistic. That is going to come with some mistakes and some pitfalls along the way.
And one thing the media is not going to highlight the fact is that we not only have players in here that can make plays, right? But they're not going to talk about how hungry these guys are. These guys actually want to win. You know, that we have 4 guys on this defense that are rookies. You know, we're talking about a core of guys on the offense that are set to make, to do things, right? But they're not going to talk about the hunger that these guys are displaying on the field. These guys want to make plays. They want to win. You know, and I hate to keep, throwing Matthew Judon under the bus, but he did not show that hunger when he was here. But now we have guys that are they are hungry. They really want to win. They really want to perform. So the fact that we have a guy like Jeff Albrecht who can bring out winners on that defense, hey, it says it all. Now all we have to do now, and I throw Zach Robinson on the bus all the time now, but he has to put these guys in a position to win. Everything rides on Zach Robinson now. People want to blame Raheem Morris, but guess what? Raheem Morris is not going anywhere no time soon, guys. He's here. We're not going to pay 3 head coaches, so it does not make sense to move on from Raheem. But Zach Robinson is the guy. He has to put this offense together to where to put these guys in position to win and make plays, because they want to play. They want to win. Atlanta Red is ready to see it. On paper, we look the best in the NFL. We have weapons on every corner, every facet of the game. Zach Robinson has to open up that playbook and stop playing to the opponent. Make the opponent play to us.
Yeah, and that's a great answer to the question I've got on the bottom there. I mean, in terms of no one's made 300 yards of offense against us, and they've not had a game yet where they haven't made 300 yards. So that's going to be the difference, is how much hunger you come to the field. Are you ready to go that extra mile? Put a little bit of salt on your hits, so to speak, and just it's going to be a dogfight. I'm ready for it because I know what Buffalo can do. And as I say, you can call it disrespect, but the experts are saying it here too. I mean, I have 14 different authors here across multiple different outlets. 12 of 14 have the Bills beating us. So so I have to take this opportunity to give kudos to Adam Rank of NFL Network and Gilbert Manzano of Sports Illustrated, because those are the only two guys who have the Falcons winning on Monday night.
Oh,
so
wow.
that goes to show you the level of not you could say disrespect, but just they don't see us.
Yeah, they don't. They
So
don't. One critical thing that I don't know if you guys already talked about this or not, but one critical issue with the Bills, not that it would have made a difference. We would have played them hard either way. But the fact that they're missing their very key player on defense, Bijan is going to eat this team alive. I mean, Milano, he's not playing this game, and I think Ed Oliver is suspect. He might not be up to full potential. So the fact that those two guys are hurt, and Milano is definitely out. Ed Oliver may play; he's questionable. And the fact that those two guys right there, that's their defense. If they don't make plays up front down in that box, the Bills have no defense, to be honest with you. So, but Bijan, he's going to eat these guys alive. Even I think Tyler Algier will probably even have a better day than Bijan against this team. Because one thing the Bills like to do, they like to fill those gaps. But Bijan runs outside. That's his game, But Bijan is going to eat this team alive. I hope Zach Robinson do not come in this game trying to mimic what he did last game and make Bijan a receiver. Yes, that'll work in some situations, but New England is smart. They're gonna know that, hey, we're gonna test this again to see whether or not we can use Bijan out there as a receiver. That's fine, but we have to get our other guys involved. Kyle Pitts definitely can have a field day against this team. There's nobody on this team on the Bills that can match him out there in that middle. That section is exposed. Like I said, Milano is their guy in the middle, at that middle linebacker. He's not there. He's gone. He's that sideline guy, which leaves Kyle Pitts open for greatness right there. I don't. Did the report come out whether or not Mark Mooney is going to be back? I hadn't seen.
Mooney's out.
Oh, he's out.
Darnell.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. But I'm not going to say that.
Kadaro Hodge is good to go though. Looking at everything, I think Kadaro Hodge would be next man up. And we know he can make some plays. But I mean, as I say, it was something that we covered earlier. But when you're talking about Monday night's game, what we loved over the last few weeks is that Kyle Pitts has finally found himself in terms of body control and knowing his frame. Because I mean, there's no accounting for a man who's 6'6", 248 pounds, and runs a 4.48 40. Right. And I think he's got about 11.5-inch hand span as well. Right. Speaking of someone who's got some paws myself, that's a dream target for any quarterback. Yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah. And as Des and I have said a million times, we didn't take that man to be a tight end. Yeah. We have a tight end in Charlie Werner. So Kyle's something else entirely.
Yeah, and that's one thing I spoke about yesterday too, that we have to start getting Charlie Warner some balls, man. I mean, this guy, he's proven this is a tight end that can give us easily 500-600 yards a year, a season, and he's done that. So the fact that we haven't seen him being used like that, I get it. We need him as a blocker. We definitely do. But he can also catch the ball. And this is one of those games where we can actually catch New England with their pants down if we were to use Charlie Warner and actually put Kyle Pitts at the wide. We can catch them. We can catch them with their pants down. They are not looking at us to make changes like that. And I get it. We need Charlie Warner on the field as a run blocker. He's great at it, but he also can catch the ball.
Oh yeah, we watched Homegrown. We seen some of those plays he made. The guy's got some hands, and no mistake. And I feel like that's a big point in why a lot of teams overlook us, because they expect us to do one thing, but they don't realize how situationally flexible we can be in terms of personnel, lineups, mismatches, right, and taking advantage of those as well. Yeah. And I think that's where, well, as I say, to summarize my thoughts on the game, Buffalo are a great team, objectively speaking. That's the MVP of the league that's coming into our house. That's and then you've got James Cook, who is, I don't know what you'd say, top 5, top 8 maybe top 10 if you're on a bad day, running back in the league. So
Yeah.
that offense is not to be slept on in any way, shape, or form.
Most
But
certainly.
as you say, it's down to, can we get the right guys in the right places at the right times?
Yeah.
But in terms of like, if you could boil it down to some key ingredients, mine would be, I'm going to put it in the hands of the defense. Given the fact that Billy's questionable, we need to get pressure with the front seven, and we need to contain the run. That would be my key. And we'll go around the panel. So we'll start with you, Des, and then we'll go around. So if you could have one key to victory, we have to get this done if we want to win. What would you say?
Run the ball. But play the game. Your offense should be running the ball. As we've said, the 22nd defense, 22nd in the NFL for run defense, and they seen anybody like Tyler Algier or Bijan Robinson. So effectively, you start the game and you run the ball and allow Michael Penix Jr. to start to suss out the defense, what the Bills are trying to do, and then just build it up and slowly bring in Kyle Pitts. I think Kyle Pitts is probably more important in this game than Drake London, because I think the Commanders game, I think that was probably one of his best games I've seen him play. He looked like the rookie monster that we all seen, literally pushing people out the road, stepping over them. And I think, but I think with that, it's if you start the offense and you start expecting Michael Penix Jr. to be batting the ball all over the place, then we're going to get picked off. What I would say is that the Sean McDermott in Buffalo Bills, he likes a complex defense. So again, Michael Penix Jr. has to just suss this out, see what he's watching, and then take it slowly. And then as we bludgeon them with the run game, we then slowly bring in Drake London, Kyle Pitts, Ray McLeod, Casey Washington's there, although the last show I called him Carlos Washington. That's so that for me, it's all about running the ball. If you've got somebody, it's a bit like saying that when you had Julio Jones, don't throw it to Julio Jones. Well, unfortunately, in one of the game we do not mention, we didn't. But
no.
But if you've got a unicorn like Kyle Pitts and effectively a future Hall of Famer like Bijan, then you play to the strengths. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, 100%. We need to take advantage of these guys. Like, we know what's best to use them. And as Manuel made the point earlier, and Lamarcus has said as well, I think it boils down to, is Zach Robinson prepared to make adjustments where he has to, especially because we are short-handed with the loss of Mooney. I mean, I know predominantly, as I say, we need to focus on the run, but if we focus solely on the run, they are going to adjust. Sean McDermott and his coaching staff aren't, as I say, by any means a bad coaching staff. They're consistently the last 5 years top or thereabouts in the AFC. So my concern as it comes to coaching is, what is Zach Robinson prepared to do to get the job done?
Yeah.
And how do you feel, Marcus, about it all? When it comes to the one thing we need to do to get this W, what is it for you?
Okay, fellas, I'm gonna take you back a little bit.
Take us back, please.
We love some history on this show.
Hey, now we're talking about game. Now let's go back.
Mohamed Sanu, Julio Jones, Devontae Freeman doing what they do best in that Super Bowl game.
Yeah.
And the reason why I want to bring to light those names is because I see the current team having the same kind of playmakers being able to do what they were able to accomplish during that game, even though we lost.
Right.
Okay. They know that we've got a run game. They know that Bijan Robinson, they know that Tyler Algier are at the helm of doing amazing things for the run game. So guess what? They probably prepared for that.
Yeah.
So we need to be a team that can not only be able to shove our run game down their throat, but even if the run game seems to not be planning out because they've prepared for it, that's when the passing game comes in. Like, that's where that balance comes in at, okay? We need to be able to deliver on both sides of the ball.
Yes.
Passing-wise with our wide receivers, tight ends, and running with Bijan and Tyler Algier. If we can balance that, because we know they're going to be prepared for that, just like we're preparing for Josh Allen to step out of the pocket and try to make plays. Everybody's preparing for everything. But the winner of that game is going to be the team that is the most prepared for every situation and scenario that comes about.
Facts.
Listen, Lamarcus,
as we say, Des, the boys.
Aye.
Sorry, before you continue, the boys always do their homework. So there's no reason why if these 4 content creators on this panel or the guys down in the chat, and we know there are many of you who know your shiz.
Yeah.
Why can the coaches not do their due diligence? We know what's coming into town.
Right.
We just need to be prepped for it.
All I'm going to say to Lamarcus is the only way that you can prepare for Bijan Robinson is to put a little bit extra mustard on your hot dog before you arrive.
Hell yeah.
You just cannot. There's nothing else that you can do to prepare for this one.
Oh, for sure. I agree with that.
That is it. So although you want to prepare for that, man, it's an old Mike Tyson thing. Everyone's got a plan until they get punched in the face. You know what I mean?
That's it.
These players don't know what they're about to come up against in Bijan Robinson. So
Exactly.
Let's hope they have a wee bit of extra mustard on their hot dogs before the game.
Exactly. Yeah. And one thing that I found out in doing my research was Buffalo Bills currently, their defense gives up 5.5 yards per carry. So that is critical. That is huge. You cannot give up 5.5 yards a carry to Bijan or Tyler Algier. If you give up that much, they're going to take more. They're going to take more. And the fact that Milano is, and this is with Milano, I mean, and with their middle linebacker Milano out, he's probably going to take even more. So you just look for some breakout runs from Bijan or Tyler Algier. And I think that will be Zach Robinson. Hopefully that'll be his game plan, is to keep running until they cannot stop us. Just keep running. That old school style Bill Parcells offense, just run the ball. Boom, boom. Just pound them with it. If we got to, I don't know if Nathan Carter, I don't know if he's available, but if he is, use him too. I mean, just running the ball, because one of those 3 running backs is going to have a world of a game against this team. The Bills are hurt. I mean, their 2 most important guys are hurt, and they got a third one that's not 100%. I mean, they got Shaq Robinson over there, Dorian Williams, but nobody's worried about those 2. We can take care of those 2. But the fact that those 2 are gone, and then you got one that's not 100%. I mean, we have to run this ball verbatim. I mean, and once if for some reason they find a way to, like Marcus said, they find a way to slow down the run, because they're not going to stop it. If they find a way to slow down the run, take the top off the defense. I mean, take them downfield. I mean, because the Bills, one thing they do not contest big throws, long throws. Now they can play the midfield. They can play that pretty well. And I'm not saying abandon that, because we still got to test them. But they do not play that long ball down the field at all. That's why I'm hating the fact that Darnell Mooney might not be available for this game. But we have to take this ball downfield if the run game slows down. And even if it slows down, don't stop it, but go to our passing game and then come back to the running game. So we cannot abandon against this team.
Yeah, that's it. Like, to take a boxing or an MMA analogy, it's like leg kick. Okay, he's checked that. Now I'm going to throw high.
Yeah,
that's all we're saying. We have the ability to have a good mix of run pass options, screens, short to medium stuff if we have to, sort of get the ball out. We know that Michael Penix Jr. has got a quick decision time. We know he can get the ball out in something like 2.2 seconds. So we don't need a lot of time to get the job done. We just need to, in a way, remember who we are. And in a way, as I say, it comes back to Zach just getting the right guys in the right sort of schemes to excel. So just obviously, while I've got the opportunity, then we would remind you, as ticking along the bottom, that we're still always looking for people to join the Kilted Revolution. So we're here live 8:30 or 3:30 Eastern time, 12:30 Phoenix time for the West Coast. That's on a Thursday and a Saturday. We know that the viewership's going to suffer because we're going against college football, but we don't care. We'd rather do 2 shows because it gives us more of an opportunity to talk birds. And as I say, one thing I would love to do, and I'd be thrilled if you 3 gents will join me. If you guys in the chat are down for this, then drop me some red and black, because we love to know that you all support. But let's even if it's just the 4 of us, Cam might join us as well. Let's get some film of the Carolina game, and let's really delve into why the offense that we've got did not score any points. Because that would be kind of good to look at before we play those boys again. So as I say, if you want to see that down in the chat, let us know. We can endeavour to do that. Also, if you want to join, let let Des know. Hit up any of the guys on the panel. As I say, we don't bite. We're more than happy to have new members. As I say, we just want to grow this thing. So, and obviously off the back of that, you guys got anything you want to add, or?
Yeah, I was going to say I'd probably prefer to watch the Super Bowl game than watch that Carolina game, to be honest, mate. You know what I mean?
It's not going to be pleasant watching. As I say, if you're coming in for the watch party on that one, it's going to be 18 plus, because the language is going to go south real quick.
That's definitely going to be PG, I think. I mean, you're talking about earlier on about the 12 or 14 going against the Falcons. I've not got an issue with that, mate. The Falcons need to be in a position where we're consistent and we're constantly beating these teams. You know what I mean? Effectively, if you look at it, New England, the New England Patriots beat the Buffalo Bills. But we're not all talking about how the New England Patriots are the best team in the NFL. The New York Giants beat the Eagles last night, and again, we're not all jumping on their bandwagon and saying, right, the New York Giants are the best team in the NFL. We need consistency. You know what I mean? We bet the Super Bowl champions last year. We should have bet the Super Bowl finalists last year. And the previous Super Bowl champions as well. We just need consistency. We need to be in a position where when we're going up against Buffalo Bills, it's half and half. There's half the people think that we're going to win, half the people are thinking the Buffalo Bills are going to win. But that can only be done by constantly winning and continuing to win. But the problem is, if you have like a decent game in the first game, but you lose, you have a decent game in the second game, you win, but there's a lot of question marks because of JJ McCarthy. You then effectively lay an egg in the third game, then the fourth game, you win a good game. But again, there's still questions on Marcus Mariota and not being Jaden Daniels. So for everything surrounding the Atlanta Falcons, there is question marks everywhere. You know what I mean? And that's why if you're a national reporter with no affinity for the Falcons, you're effectively going to go to Buffalo Bills because it's the old faithful routine. The old faithful, they should win, so I'll go with them. But the Falcons need to get out of this narrative where good, bad, up, down, consistency, inconsistency. They just need to be as Manuel said. If even if we lose a game, but we're putting up a fight and we're taking it to the last minute, then so be it. But we just need to stop this roller coaster ride that's constant with the Falcons.
Yeah,
And
I
that's
agree.
why
And shout out to first time watcher down there, Rise Up Falcons, and that's a good point, Thomas, because it doesn't matter, to paraphrase Rocky, how many times you get knocked down, as long as you always remember to rise up, and that's something that we as Falcons never shy away from. So thank you for joining us down in the chat. As I say, we love seeing the community's growing. We're live on X as well now. This week for the first run of shows. So we're hoping that that's going to just keep the chat going as much as possible. As I say, we're looking to get some of the Scottish Falcons independent stuff going out as well. But before we sort of wrap up, if anyone's got any questions, they'll drop it. But in the meantime, what's the season look like for you guys in terms of content? So I know you'll be busy with the pandemic, Manuel, but as I say, I think it goes without saying at this point, but consider yourself a frequent flyer. As I say, you've got your logo, you've earned your kilt at this point.
Aye.
Hey man, I've been a fan since 1978. I said it over and over again, and my fanship, it has never wavered. I've always backed this team, win, lose, or draw, and it's one of those moments. The Super Bowl is like one of those moments you look forward to, right? I mean, you make a prediction every year about what your team is going to accomplish during the season. And realistically, I'm one of those guys that okay, we're going to have problems in this game, but at the same time, I always want my Falcons, to come out on top. It's not a gimme whatsoever. I mean, a take whatsoever. But I want my Falcons to, and to piggyback off what Dan said, they're going to be question marks, right? But as the season go along, you see less and less question marks. You see the improvement. You see the chemistry start to happen. You would like to see that happen sooner than later, but when we're constantly redoing and re-strategizing on our team, you start to see, granted, Zach Robinson is a first-year coordinator. He's still learning the game. I mean, but we put him in that position, and to expect him to come out of the box and have a winning offense. I mean, he does have the players in place, but he's still learning that playbook. Yes, he has been a part of that playbook for years, but to make it his own, that's one of the things that he's going to have to do. And he has the players to do that with. And I think the expectations of him being a winner out the box, which, like me, I want instant success. Everybody wants it, but realistically, you have to look at the fact that he is a first-year coordinator. He is using a playbook that he's never had his own, but he has been a part of that playbook. He got coached through that coaching tree, but going back to his success, that he has to make it his playbook. In other words, he has to realize what players that he have, what players that he can use to make that play calling that he uses successful. Has he come up short?
And as you say, through repetition, you're going to find that he's going to get his own little nuances, iron in his own little wrinkles, and check Sundance or whatever, and little audibles, little things that he can do. We're going to see that, I think, maybe as the season goes on. But I think it's only something that can be gained through just getting the reps in against good teams. Because as we've said a few times, the next few games were set to be tested a little bit. But we're here for it because we can't profess to be a good team. Well, you can't profess to be an NFL franchise of any level, but especially to profess to be a good NFL franchise and shy away from a fight. And that's kind of what it boils down to on Monday.
Yeah, I still think we're going to have a great season this year. I just think that Zach Robinson has to realize what he can do with the core players that he has, right? I mean, because we know, like I said, we got players at every corner that can make plays. He has to realize which one of those players can make that playbook work for him, make it successful. That's why I hate the fact that we didn't utilize the preseason as much as we did. That should have been the preseason should have been treated like a regular season. I get it. We have to find out what we got in these rookies, right? But you knew going into the draft which one of these players you're going to keep legitimately keep. So the fact that we didn't utilize the preseason like I thought we would have, I mean, I think it's starting to show. But people say, well, it's not but 2 games that we could have played in the preseason. But those games were critical in game time situations. You know, you have to realize what players can do what. You know, yes, I would love to have seen every last one of the rookies that we had on this team, because all of them could make plays. Kobe Bryant, I can't wait to see if any opportunity for him to come in and finally get some plays in. But I would like to have seen more of this veteran team, the core of this team in preseason. I mean, I think it came back to Hunters, even in coaching. The coaching decisions that we made going into the season, I think that has came back to Hunters. But if they had to put themselves in game time situations, namely the 2 preseason games, possibly it could have helped. Who knows? We can't go back, and look at it. But and this is one of those situations we got to throw it out the window now and just say, hey, we got to go on and play from here on out, and hopefully the season be better success.
Well, what I would say,
4 down, 13 to go.
Yeah, what I'd say, Manuel, is if you want to know whether your wide receiver coach is the right coach for you, or if you want to know whether you should be in the booth or on the sideline as an offensive coordinator, then maybe preseason game is the game to do that.
Yeah.
Again, these daft wee silly things that we keep doing as a staff, you know what I mean, as head coach in a team. So yeah, we need to deal with all that stuff, you know what I mean. So
Sure.
I always preseason, always seen it from both sides. Yeah, you go out there and Michael Penix Jr. gets injured, then you're Kirk Cousins, and you don't know what Kirk Cousins can do, you know what I mean? Or if Drake London gets injured and you've got your wide receiver one out, you know what I mean?
Right.
So I see it from that point of view, but there's no doubt when you say you're going into your 4th game and no wide receiver or tight end took a touchdown pass,
Right.
you know what I mean? That just shows that there was a lot of rust and a lot of cobwebs. And again, even if it was only 1 or 2 snaps in the preseason, it would have literally have got some of that, some of the cobwebs off. So I see it from both sides, but you can't hide the fact that the playing them in preseason fan base I definitely have an argument. I would definitely say that, Manuel.
I'd agree with both of you there. Like, mental repetitions are just that. There's no other substitute for being on the field and seeing it unfold at game speed. There really is nothing else that can compensate for that. As much as you can delve into your playbooks or as much as you can watch film, it will never equate to really getting the pads and lid on and really going for it. So what we'll probably do, I mean, we've covered a lot of the kind of hype party side of things. We've took a look at the injuries and things like that. So what we'll do is we'll kind of make it a little bit more freeform. So this is like just going to be a little bit of a Q&A session. So if any of you guys down in the chat want to ask anything of the guys on the panel, we can stay another little while and kind of hopefully put any of your concerns or fears to rest. But at the meantime, what we'll do is I'll go around and get you boys socials and tags so the fans know where to get at you. So we'll start with you, LaMarcus. Let's just make sure that everything's back on top audio wise as well. So if the fans want to get at you and have a little chat after the show, where would they go about doing that, bro?
Hey fellas, so I'm still trying to figure out how all of this works. So I will have that information available for you on the next time that we meet. I'm probably going to need Will, you and Dez's help in order to establish that because, again, this is new to me, so I'm trying to figure it all out. I'm usually posting from my Facebook page. As a matter of fact, I did want to put a plug in. I am going to be in San Francisco next week to watch our boys play the San Francisco 49ers.
Yes.
I'm looking forward to bringing some content from that game.
There you go.
I'm super excited about that. So
there's something to tease the fans for. Hell yeah.
That's what's up.
Don't fear about, obviously, as I say, we just loved the passion that you had and the takes that you had, so we knew that you would bring that to boot and you would be able to throw your energy into the mix with ours. So all we were looking for was just a big stew pot. The X's and the O's can be ironed out in time, so anything we can do to get on. As I say, we always take 20 minutes before, 20 minutes after, just in the back. So hang on with us once we're done, and as I say, we're more than happy to do that. But as I say, we couldn't do what we do to the level that we do without our frequent flyers. So we've been glad to grow the family beyond Des and I. And it's something we've been endeavouring to do for quite some time. Basically, since the start, we were always kind of the way we've got with Tyler and Bijan. We are a two-headed beast. So this is the Scottish Falcons show, but it is also the panel for all of our team, all of our family from the AFNI as well. So and as I say, if you know the AFN originals, you may just see some cameos from Maggie and her guys too. So if you want all that good stuff and more, plus as Lamarcus has said, up to date from the stadium for San Fran next week, then you need to keep it here. You need to keep it Celtic. Right. In the meantime, as I say. And I do love that tag. So Floyd, thank you for that one. That's another one we can. It's not. Is it theft if you shout them out? I'm not sure.
No.
we borrowed it with appropriate credit. There you go. So no copyright strikes. We need to get this thing up and running properly.
Almost certain.
But as I say, like, we appreciate you guys for joining us. But most of all, we wouldn't be here doing this if it wasn't for you, the fans. So we've always got to show love back to the AFN family. Be you stateside, be you Clydeside, be you worldwide. And never forget, in closing, that pain is international, but so is passion. Thank you ever so much again for all your time, your love, your dedication, and we will see you next week.
All right.
Bye.